After 12 months of long waiting, we received a genetic diagnosis of Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, and we're in touch with other families within hours, meeting online with other families who were saying, send us photos, show us your child's feet, which was probably the funniest thing. And all of our kids with Pitt-Hopkins have the same little feet and the same beautiful face.
I think it's important to note that support changes with where you are in the journey and what you need in the moment and who you get that from. I think a recent term I've heard is lived experience experts as opposed to clinical experts or research experts. And I'm really appreciating the difference or even the joined parts that they will play in the whole journey.
So there's a Facebook group that I'm on. It's run by a mum that has a son with PKU actually. So yeah, we post our recipes on there.
So I have something called morning break. It's only 0.4 grams. I'm allowed to have that. And I'm allowed to have 3.5 grams a day of protein.
If we find something at the grocery store that people can buy that's got low protein, we always post the packaging, then we post the nutritional panel so people can see, because every child, every adult has a different tolerance of proteins.
There's little idiosyncrasies to each condition that other families have already gone through.
Come. Good boy.
Down came the rain and washed the spine.
We didn't know what to do, so Facebook ended up being a massive help. I googled the name of the syndrome on Facebook and then realised there were a couple of parent support groups, which I started to kind of follow people from afar. I was not ready to approach anyone. I needed to deal with it in my own way, in my own time. Now it's great because if I've got a problem with anything, I just go into the Facebook parents group now, see all the parents have gone through the exact same things and what they've done and what medication they've tried, and they've actually been our encyclopedia of knowledge.
When we started going to the hospital more regularly with Amelia, there is always a social worker at the medical therapy unit, and thanks to the social worker we got in touch with certain organizations. So one of the organizations is the Thalassemia and Sickle Cell Australia, TASCA, and I think that's where our support group actually is. It's in the hospital. We had a young kid who needed some friends who are also in the same boat, if I put it that way. And we wanted her to see that and say, this is not going to be something that limits my possibilities in life.
Last Saturday, pretty much at this time, we had all the NPC families across Australia here. So that was fantastic, just having an intimate conversation. The kids were just playing, and it ranged from some patients that needed a lot of care to some, like our son, there was no progression.
Having, I guess, the support organisations ready and lined up at that first step is really important and helpful. We started with the clinician experts, which helped us get where we need to be, and the geneticists, but lived experience experts were really what helped us with the emotional journey. It was just so incredibly important.
It's a vast spectrum of abilities in Pitt-Hopkins, and they're all vastly different, and some kids walk and some kids run and ride bikes, and some kids use wheelchairs and walking frames. I think the most important thing is to make that connection with other families and to be able to see that there is such a vast spectrum of ability, and that your child is not the sum of their diagnosis, or not just what you read about in a medical journal, that your child is capable of so much more.